United Spurs of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the United Spurs of America podcast, joined by your hosts, Michael and Jacob, as always, coming to you live. Disappointed.
Sad.
And very, very just defeated.
Live and sad. I mean, I don't know if it's as live because this is going to be pre-recorded and then edited and uploaded later, but
It's live for the people listening.
the emotions are definitely live inside of both of us right now, I'd say. If you didn't know, now you know that we're just never going to do good at Stamford Bridge, apparently.
Chelsea 2, Tottenham 0, another away day at Stamford Bridge, another loss going back to the lane. 6 defeats in a row against Chelsea in the Premier League.
Horrible.
Last goal scored by Tottenham against Chelsea was at Wembley in 2018, scored by Hyun-min Hung, Hyun-min Dad, Hyun-min Son.
We miss you.
We miss you so much. Hyun-min Dad was once again out of the
Miss him
lineup
so
with an
much.
injury, along with Christian Romero. There was some other absences, which we'll get into a little bit later, but yeah, man, another away day defeat, and another away day at Stamford Bridge, but more importantly, another defeat to Chelsea. And it's just become tiring at this point. First goal, credit to Hakim Ziyech, who scored an absolute worldie in the 47th minute. And then Thiago Silva doubled the scoring in the 55th later in the second half. You know, it was I would say a hard-fought first half of this game, which we'll get into in a little bit. And then the second half, I think Chelsea just kind of blew the doors open. And once the floodgates were open, there was just no stopping the stream. But yeah, man, tough scenes at Stamford Bridge. Just how are you feeling coming out of that game? I mean,
Honestly, going into the game, I felt like a loss was my expectation. A draw would have been scenes for me. A draw at Stamford Bridge. They're going to finish somewhere in the top 3. Just to me, seemed like a great test to see what Antonio Conte could do. A lot of people are kind of hating on Antonio Conte for some of the things that some of the choices that were made, and I know we'll get into it, but you know, for me, I still trust the man. It's just I think his post press conference kind of solidified exactly how I felt, and I think how a lot of people are feeling. There's just Chelsea and Tottenham right now are two different realities. They're, you know, one's big spending on players, one's big spending on housing and cinemas and stadiums and restaurants and what have yous, which is great, but at the same time, you need a product on the field. We're just not getting that, and it's pretty disappointing to see, in my opinion.
yeah, you want to go ahead and get into the starting 11?
Oh yeah, let me pull that up.
A lot of surprises, man. First off, when it was announced, it was definitely not the 11 that we were expecting. Conte did mention earlier in the week, a few days before the match, that there were some slight knocks picked up by a few of the players in our previous match against Leicester City. And yeah, you could definitely see it in the starting 11. We can go through it real quick. Hugo in net, just fresh off of signing his brand new 2-year contract extension through 2024. So absolute scenes there. Japhet Tanganga starts at right back with Eric Dyer and Davinson Sanchez. Not a threesome today, just a twosome at the back for the center back position. Ben Davies starts at left back, and then this was the surprising part, man. Ryan Sessegnon and Matt Doherty playing on left mid and right mid. When the lineup was announced, you know, it's not a graphic like this. It's just a list of names, and the way the names were listed, we were all like, oh shit, Matt Doherty at left wing back once again, because the way that it went was Tanganga through, let's say, Doherty. Doherty was that last name after Ben Davies, and I think we were all like, oh god, Doherty again at left wing back. He actually started at right mid since Conte decided to go with the 4-4-2 formation here against Chelsea. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Harry Winks rounded out the midfield with Steven Bergwijn and Harry Kane up top. First of all, man, I already kind of mentioned what I was feeling. I was definitely very, very shocked when this lineup got announced. what were some of the emotions that were running through you, and what were some of your thoughts?
Confusion, a lot of confusion. I was happy to see Steven Bergvine out there.
Yeah.
I really thought, yeah, I thought for sure we were. The weird thing, I thought that yeah, Matt Doherty was playing at the left wing back by the way the list was given out,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought Tanganga was going at the right wing back position, which I mean I was kind of excited to see, but interestingly enough, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Winks, no Skippy. I thought that was strange.
Yeah.
Lo Celso wasn't even on the bench, and Dombele wasn't on the bench. Dele Alli wasn't on the bench. So for me, I just really felt like, okay, we're gonna really have just kind of six sitting at the back, really just six defenders. Bring on what you got, Chelsea, and hopefully we get a counter. And honestly, in the first half, it should have been 1-0. We scored a goal, and very sadly was ruled a penalty or a foul, excuse me, by Harry Kane on Thiago Silva, which to me was just atrocious because if you remember back to the Liverpool game, Dele Alli got hands on his back in the
Mm-hmm.
box, went down, wasn't
No
called
call.
because
No call.
they said he was more simulating than it was contact. And in this instance, they're like, well, his hands were on his back. That's the rule. The rule says if hands are on his back, then and he goes down, like that's the player's fault who put the hands on him. But they don't call it for us. With the honestly, just stupid, fucking stupid ass like rules that are biased. It really just, I'm not. I can't blame the lads today. I really can't because I felt like you look at this Chelsea lineup and then you look at
Mm-hmm.
their bench and it's just like, all right, where's it coming from today? I mean, I don't even see a weakness other than maybe their left back. You could say Sar
Yeah.
is probably their weakest link, but
Yeah. And
and
if you look at it on paper before the match, I would have argued also Callum Hudson-Odoi, who had unfortunately an absolute field day against Japhet Tanganga. He forced Japhet to pick up a yellow card in the first half. There were talks, I know we were talking about in the group chat that, maybe it was a smart idea to sub out Tanganga just because he was playing very, very aggressive and he was already on that yellow. He didn't come out until the second half. So it was, man, it was tough, man, because even at their weakest links, they still looked absolutely brilliant
Mhm.
against us on Sunday. It was unfortunate, man. Definitely unfortunate. And when you look at this lineup, obviously glad Eric Dyer's back. I thought he had a fairly decent outing. And then, yeah, you mentioned it, man. The midfield was definitely very, very surprising. Harry Winks coming into the fold for Oliver Skip, who was on the bench. We found out that him, along with Lucas, who missed the 11 as well, they were both out with slight knocks. They came on later on in the second half, along with Brian Heelan at about the 85th minute or so. Reguilon also missed out in the 11 due to injury, so he was on the bench. And then there was the omissions. Let's get into that as well. Giovanni Lo Celso, Dele Alli, Tanguy Ndombele, all missing out in the squad entirely. As there's rumors with Dele Alli joining Ndombele on the transfer list, and now along with Lo Celso. Lo Celso actually posted on his Instagram story before the game that he was fully fit, he was completely healthy, and that he would still be cheering on the lads and good luck in the derby. And it was weird, man, because I don't know. I didn't really expect Conte to be that cutthroat with some of our players, but hey, I think it just looks like Lo Celso's one of those players that Conte's just not convinced about. I know Jacob, we've been pretty frustrated with his performances really over the past year or so. Keeps missing out on injury, especially with Argentina. He always seems to pick up injuries while on international duty, and
Mhm.
it's just another player who, it's just he's not cutting it for Tottenham Hotspur.
Giovanni Lo Celso for me has just really been a frustrating player. At first,
Yeah.
when we permanently signed him after that little loan spell, I was pretty excited, and honestly, I thought there was going to be a lot of things he would offer. I thought he was kind of creative. You watch him when he plays for Argentina, and he's like kind of like a Leo Messi 2.0, and he plays so well with arguably the greatest player in the world. And yeah, man, it's just really disappointing, honestly, because for us, he just plays like ass, bro. He just runs. He's head down. He's heavy footed. He runs like he's a little kid in sand with his shoes too big. he looks clumsy. It's just some of the corners and the free kicks and everything I've seen from him this season is just unimpressive, bro.
Yeah.
And I think I love Antonio Conte for the fact, like you mentioned, he's cutthroat. He's just really like, you know what? You don't work for me. You ain't even in the 18. And I love that about Jose Mourinho. I mean, real quick, there was a stat that I saw brought up on, I think it was Instagram, that in 60 years, Jose Mourinho's Tottenham scored more goals than any other Tottenham team. When I thought that was a pretty interesting stat. But yeah, man, I did not expect good things from Chelsea, but yet again, the first half we showed we could stay in there for a little bit, but I
It
think
just
their
seemed like,
depth it just spoke too much for us.
yeah, it just seemed like we were absorbing pressure and absorbing pressure and absorbing chances after chance. And honestly, I was kind of surprised they didn't break through in the first half. But to be fair, we held pretty strong and well defensively. And I just thought the midfield was the weak link,
Yeah.
the Achilles heel, along with the right back position throughout the match. Once Tanganga got on that yellow, they knew that they were going to need to attack that left flank, and they kept doing it. And to be fair, it worked. And then it just seemed like the midfield trio of Mount, Jorginho, and Kovacic was just running Højbjerg and Winks. I felt bad, man. Højbjerg and Winks looked very, very overrun in the midfield. Chelsea, I mean, we'll look at the stats real quick right here. I mean, if you look at it real quick,
Honestly, I
look at
thought
this possession,
Højbjerg
man.
had a pretty decent game, all things considered.
I don't
In
know,
my
man.
opinion,
I didn't think he was good, and he
thought
missed
he was one of our better
he
players.
he missed a perfect opportunity to play in Lucas for a chance to score in the second half. I think I remember texting you about it. I was like, God damn it, Højbjerg. But anyways, bro, talking about the possession stats, look at this: 65% possession for Chelsea, 15 shots, 7 on target, 6 shots for Tottenham, 3 on target. But just going back to absorbing the pressure, Chelsea were running rampant all over us in our own half, and they were really running the show for the majority of that first half, and obviously the majority of the game, as you can see here. But I don't know, man. Even though they had the majority of the possession and they were controlling the game at a lot of points throughout the first half, I actually thought that we had a couple of pretty dangerous chances to put away. Um, early on. And I thought our counterattack looked pretty dangerous. It was just that final ball, the first few final touches, the final few passes that were, that ended up being off and ended up costing us some chances. But
Hmm.
you could see that there was glimpses of maybe we could break through, maybe we could break through. And then you go back to that Kane goal that you were talking about that got disallowed, Jacob, and it was just so unfortunate because I feel like it could have changed the entire complexion of the game. But in the end, fair credit to Chelsea. They were the better team. They deserved to win.
Nah, fair credit. Fuck them, bro. I got that for them. Uh, but looking at Sofa score, bro, Harry Winks and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg were our two highest rated players. Behind that was Hugo and Davinson. And I mean, that's not saying much. I thought Steven Bergwijn was pretty bright as well. He was only
Me
given a
too.
6.9.
I
But Pierre
thought I
was,
thought Bergwijn and Kane were our two best players on Sunday.
I
I
mean,
thought they were bright. When
that's
they
what
got the ball, that was the problem, though. They
right.
didn't get the ball a whole lot.
I mean, and the service into Kane was not beautiful. He was not
No.
getting
I
good
mean, the
looking
one good
balls.
ball that he got was the one he put away. That Sessegnon cross, the low-driven cross, was great, man. It was on point and where it needed to be. It was
Hmm.
just unfortunate that Thiago Silva felt like he was a feather and decided to flop.
Honestly, Mason Mount was running rampant there
Yeah,
on our.
yeah, he was brilliant, and especially against Davinson Sanchez, who it seemed like Sanchez kept drifting out towards the outside flanks early on in that first half, and it was primarily because Mason Mount was pulling him that way. And oh my God, he just looked totally outmatched against Mason Mount.
I thought Eric Dyer and Davinson every time that they were up against the how much ever Romelu Lukaku
100
costed,
mil,
100 mil striker, um, shut down goose egg. I
yeah.
mean,
Lukaku
so
didn't play well at
the
all.
the big debate about stats versus kind of what the eye sees, I tend to agree with you. I think the Sova score is always pretty honest when it comes to goalkeepers. But like Harry Kane and Steven Bergwijn for me as well were kind of our two brightest players. but yet they were top. Let's see, top six, 5 and 6. So Harry Winks was our highest rated player, and then Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Hugo Lloris, then
I
Davinson.
think it's kind of misleading, man, because
It's
to be
very
honest, for
misleading.
me, I thought the midfield was like I said, I thought they were our Achilles heel. It just seemed like they were getting
I
overran
think
by that midfield trio, and I felt bad, man. They just looked outmatched, and I was surprised that that Conte didn't pull either one of, Doherty or I mean, really, it would have been Doherty to play a little bit more central, but it just felt like they needed one more or two more men to compete with the Chelsea midfield.
I'm just gonna put it this way: everyone was just not good enough, and
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
play these top sides like Chelsea, Man
You have to be
City,
on point. You have
you
to.
make any little bit of a mistake, they're gonna take advantage. I mean, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, I think you could either argue it's him or Ben Davies. That they should have came out and fucking pressed Hakeem Ziyech so he didn't have time. He had so much time to sit
Yep.
there and judge. Okay, here's how I'm gonna
And who
code
was
it.
the one who
Here's how
didn't?
much power.
Hey, I will say though, who was the one who didn't close him down fast enough? It was
It's e-
Højbjerg.
it's either Højbjerg or Davies. When I looked at it, that was my opinion. I could be completely wrong, but
I
to
was
my eyes, it was either one of them two should have
I agree
fucking
with
closed
you
it out.
though. I agree with you though. He had a lot of time, and that you could say that for a lot of the Chelsea players on Sunday. They just had a lot of time, and especially in the midfield, a lot of space, and
This
it was very, very frustrating to watch.
this is what happens when you're scared of your opponent. We were playing like scared children. And
Yeah,
if
I
you've
thought we
ever
gave
been
him
in
too
this
much respect.
Exactly. If you've ever been in a street yard fight, bro, the best thing you can do is just go at your opponent like a madman and hope you catch them off guard if you feel like you're outmatched, right?
Hmm.
Like the worst thing to do is back down and step away and let him bring the pressure. So for me, I just thought it was a weak um an acceptance. I think it was I'm not going to say it's Conte saying, "Hey, look, this is what I got. We're shit." But I do think it's him saying, like, look, this is what I got and we're shit.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, we have zero depth. Again, you look at their starting 11 and you look at their bench, you could argue, I'm looking
All of their bench players
Werner,
could have made it into our
Pulisic,
11.
Havertz, Barkley. You could even argue fucking Ross Barkley would make it. I mean, N'Golo Conte coming off the bench, Marcus Alonso, fuck him. I mean, I'm just looking at their subs and like 80% of them could make it in our 11.
Yeah.
And it's just, again, it just comes down to the whole, back Conte. You brought Conte here for a reason. The optimist in me can't help but believe that at some point we're going to start backing Conte, whether it be in January, we have 6, 7 days left, or whether it be in the summer. And quite frankly, it's looking more and more like it's going to be the summer. But I don't know if you want to talk transfers. You want to move in that direction, wrap up Chelsea.
Yeah, let's
You
wrap up
let
Chelsea real quick. Tottenham fall to seventh place in the Premier League, although they do
fuck.
have 1, 2, and 3 games in hand on teams that are above them right now. 36 points, two off of fourth, which is currently held by Man United. And it was disappointing, man, because you look at Brighton and teams like Everton, who have recently stolen points off of Chelsea, and it just sucks because I feel like Tottenham should be a team that should give them some sort of trouble like Brighton and Everton did. Dude, Everton sucks right now. They're in 16th place. And I mean, they just sacked their manager not
It's
too
because
long
they got a
ago.
fucking pedo in their club. That's
And
what happens.
and they get points off of a team like Chelsea, and I mentioned Brighton as well. They played brilliantly and arguably should have beat Chelsea too. You
Yeah.
know, it's frustrating to see those type of teams have performances against Chelsea, and then you see us and what we pull up with, and it's like, well, fuck, man. How are we gonna make top four with the squad?
I'm not going to lie, though. I'm looking at February, and the 4 games in the Premier League that we have in February, easily you can win 3 of them. I mean, you got Southampton, should win that. Should have won I mean, it was a 3-1 tie if we remember. Should have won that game. Then Tottenham versus Wolves. Hopefully Adama versus his old club.
Yep.
That'd be beautiful, sexy, wet, all the adjectives you want. And then we play Man City at the Etihad, which I'll take a L there. Fuck them. And then
We do
Saturday,
always play City well,
26.
though, to be fair.
We do. And if Youngmin Son's back, you know he loves scoring against Pep because do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am?
Do you know who I am? And then to close out on February, we have Leeds. That'll be fun. So,
Yeah.
I mean, out of those four, I say you can win three. I mean, possibly tie the fourth one.
Yeah.
So this should be a good month. You started out with FA Cup, Brighton. Not looking forward to Brighton. They might fucking take us, but hey, things aren't all bad. We've just been not doing well, especially against fucking Chelsea.
Yep. Yeah, man, it's frustrating. And like I mentioned earlier, we have the last time we've scored a goal against them was Hyunmin Son's absolute worldie against them at Wembley in 2018. It's been over 3 years, almost 4 years since we last scored against Chelsea, and it's frustrating. But let's
Wait,
get into
since we,
transfer talk, man,
I
because
thought we,
right now we need reinforcements.
yeah.
Plain and simple as that. And you mentioned that the next game's in February. It's going to be February 5th against Brighton in the FA Cup. And you got to hope that this team looks at least a little bit different when that game comes around.
I mean, also you got to think how much time Antonio Conte's had with this squad. Now we're going to give him another 2 weeks to just work on training with the squad, fitness, no more ketchup, mayonnaise, all the good stuff. So the optimist in me wants to come out and dance around and play and have a good time, but the pessimist in me, the Spurs fan in me, is also, you know, shit. What do you think, bros? Top four, realistic?
Not with this squad that we have right now, man. Especially
No.
if we've seen what a few injuries can do and a few omissions just because of, laziness or, lack of talent and lack of desire, what it can do to a squad. And you look what we put out there on Sunday, man. We have a few knocks to some of these players, and look at what we put out. It's absolutely disgusting what the lineup that we put out against a team like Chelsea. And, the optimist in you is going to come out soon, whether it be tomorrow or the day after, because there are talks that Adama Traore to Spurs is at an advanced stage, and that'll be the first transfer that we get into, man. 20 million, around 20 million, maybe 25, up to 25 million will be agreed upon by Wolves from Spurs, and Adama Traore, the Traore sexual right here alongside me in this direction, is going to be a very happy man soon. So yeah, Adama Traore to Spurs is close, reportedly, and I know Jacob, you have been dying to talk about this all week, my friend. It's finally gonna happen.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm also still half and half because half of me, I mean, how long have we been in this advanced stage? How long have we been progressing? It's just so long and long. It's almost like I'll believe it when Spurs official tweets it out.
Yeah,
That's when I'll believe, or when Fab says, "Here we
here we
go."
go.
One of those two have to happen in order for me to really get my oil and my juices flowing. Because honestly, I'm really excited. I hope this isn't the only signing. Trust me, you know me, I'm a domosexual all the way.
Yeah,
But is he enough to really help us push for top four? No, but he's
no.
a good start. He's a good start. Very good start.
If Conte
Um,
can get the best out of him and he can make him into a better right wing back than what Emerson is, then I'll take it, man. But I agree with you. It can't be the only signing that we have in January and expect us to make top four or do anything in the FA Cup for that matter as well. And you gotta hope that there's a midfielder coming through that door. You gotta hope that there's at least one striker coming through that door, and you gotta hope there's a center back as well coming through that door. I would rather take two midfielders and one striker along with Traore rather than one and one, as far as a defender goes. But I would gladly take a center back as well. I just feel like right now, I think the midfield and right wing back position and then the striker position is just more pressing. I think we do have some sort of depth at center back, although it may not be great. It's better than in other areas right now. And I think right now the glaring issues are creativity in the midfield, magic in the midfield, frankly,
yeah.
another striker to either play alongside or back up Kane and be reliable at that. And then we'll obviously get Adama Traore as the right wing back. But yeah, man, there's a lot of areas that need to be filled right now, and Chelsea definitely exposed all of those weaknesses on Sunday, and unfortunately, it's now up to Levy and Paratici to see what they can bring through. And we know
I
Levy,
mean,
we know how he plays, but I feel like right now it's now or never, honestly. You can't wait until the summer because if you miss out on the Champions League and you don't have as much funds to back Conte in the summer, then what the heck are you even doing? You know what I mean? Like if you're not going to invest now, if you invest now, it's going to pay off in the summer if that makes sense. You get
no,
players in
yeah.
now that can make top 4, that can
Mhm.
hey, fuck it, who knows? Win an FA Cup, that's going to pay dividends by the time the summer comes around. That's going to pay off for itself. You know what I mean? Like the time's now, man.
Bro, the deal that we're getting for Adama Traore is stupid. Honestly, I've always said I'd pay double. People have made fun of me. People have called me out about it. I'd pay 50 mil for Adama Traore. I think what he's going to bring to this club, if he comes, gonna have to,
Hmm.
if he comes, um, just the dynamics that he's going to bring. He's really going to unlock Harry Kane and Heung-min Son. And honestly, I'm not as concerned if we bring up a striker as I am. I'd rather see two mids and a center back along with Adama Traore. I think we might see just Adama Traore, maybe one or two more signings. That's what I honestly believe was going to happen. Um, I'm hearing a lot of Dele Alli to Newcastle
Yep.
loans. I mean, as a loan. I'm also hearing a lot of. I see what you're looking at there,
I don't.
buddy.
You want to go ahead and share it for the
Oh,
viewers on Spotify video of what we're looking at right
this
now?
is the
We're getting
man.
the baby oil ready, by the
Bro,
way.
full screen that. Come on. You got full screen
Let me
that.
see this. Is this how you full screen it? How do I full screen this? Oh,
I don't
I think it's
know.
gonna
But
take me to
if
the website. Yeah, it's gonna take me to the website.
clickbait. That's
Hold
definite
on.
clickbait right there.
Open image in new tab. Here we go. You ready for this?
I'm
Oh, there
ready.
it is. There it is.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. This, ladies
Yeah,
and gentlemen, if you
we're
don't
getting the
know,
baby oil ready.
that's Adama Traore right there. He's a beast. He is so fast. He's so strong. I'm so excited, bro. And he's looked so good in his past few games. I don't know if you've been watching Wolves. He's the reason why I watch Wolves. If we sign him, I have no reason to watch Wolves anymore, and that'll be lovely. Maybe Ruben Neves. That's really it.
Yeah.
Coutinho's okay, but man, he is a beast. He's fast. He's very large. He loves the baby oil. Rubs it all over his arms. Makes them real shiny. It's great. It's a great game day. And I mean, think about. I'm gonna be really jealous of whoever the first fan is that gets his like game worn jersey.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be very jealous and upset at that person because that is a hot commodity. Honestly, I've been thinking I want to get something Adama Traore if we get him. I want to get like a little
Yeah,
fat
I
head or
would
a
be
bobblehead
shocked.
or
I would
something.
be shocked if you didn't get like a jersey or yeah, like a fat head or something like that. But oh,
Even like a
and
bobblehead. Like I got this, but like if this was Adama Traore, think about how sick that would be.
real quick, I forgot to mention I did get the away kit, and I wish I would have worn it today for the episode, but I did get the new away kit, and I got Kane on the back, just so the viewers, the I can give a shout out to the viewers because
Hmm.
I know I'd been talking about it for a while that I wanted a Kane kit. I haven't bought one since 2016, so it was long overdue to get the King on the back of my jersey. There's also talks right now that we're potentially interested in signing Fiorentina midfielder, not striker, midfielder, Sofyan Amrabat. And another one, man, where I'm
The
just like, bruh,
highlight reels I've seen of this cat, I'm not impressed. He looks like Harry
bro,
Winks. We may as well bring another Harry Winks.
I saw a tweet at whoever the fuck shout out on Twitter,
Hey, at
and
whoever the fuck.
it was, we go to Lyon for Lacazette, we get Clinton and Jai, we go to what was it, what was the other one?
We go to PSV for.
Yeah, we go to PS or no, we go to Ajax for Ziyech. We come back with PSV Steven Bergwijn, and it was just, and then it's like we go to Fiorentina for Dusan Vlahovic. We come back with Sofyan Amrabat.
Well, allegedly, he pretty much said "F you" to both Arsenal and Tottenham. From my understanding, he wants to join Juventus.
Juventus, yeah, and Juventus have open
That's what I've
talks
heard.
now. They've made contacts with Fiorentina about
So we can't really blame
getting
Tottenham
Vlahovic.
because if they sent an offer and he just ignored it because he's
I don't
like,
think they did though. They said that they hadn't received any offers yet, and then
no, they
now
said
that
that they've received from several, or
oh no, it was a Premier League club. It was Arsenal. I think it was only Arsenal who
they
offered
said
anything.
several clubs in London. I thought is what I saw,
Hmm.
that it was several clubs in London. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. Arsenal, Tottenham. Um, but that's sad. But you know what? I still think there's a lot of other quality strikers out there that we could go and get. I don't know. Who do you got? Any top two strikers?
Apparently, we're interested, maybe not in the winter, but in the summer for Jonathan David from Lille. And dude,
Mm-hmm.
this guy's the real deal as well. I think he's going to go to a top team this summer. I hope it's Tottenham if possible. If we don't get a striker in January, I mean, obviously, fingers crossed we get one. But I'm just saying, you know,
I'll
if we
take
could get
Daryl
Jonathan
DK.
David over the line, yeah, Daryl Dike is another one who I wouldn't be.
I mean, he just
Um,
joined West Brom, so I don't think he's going to be leaving. Maybe not even in the summer. But watch it. He's one of those young guys you might want to keep an eye on.
mhm.
Big boy. I like big boys up top. So, um, I think Daryl DK would be one. Ollie Watkins. I don't know why he doesn't get shouts. I think he's pretty talented.
Yeah, you've mentioned him before, and he's
Showed a lot.
English, so he would add to the homegrown squad.
Exactly. I just think that's a little bit of a win-win. Even Ivan Tony, he's English, so he would as well. You know, these are guys. These are all guys that I wouldn't mind seeing. But yeah, I mean, I think midfield is more pressing than a striker, like
Yeah,
from the
there's
jump.
and there's when we're talking about the midfield, there's talks right now that we're gonna loan Tanguy and Dick to PSG. Mauricio Pochettino's PSG. Obviously, he's the one who brought him here, and wanted him. You know, obviously there are French links with Ndombele, just him being from there, and it's apparently a destination that he is willing to go to,
It sure
and
is.
it looks like it might actually happen. So we'll see. And I mentioned earlier in the episode, Lo Celso's now on the trading block, the transfer list, and as well as unfortunately for me, Dele Alli. But you know, these are players that we're talking about right now that just have not cut it recently for Tottenham. And frankly, if they need to go, and Conte says they need to go, then fair play, they need to go.
I mean, I think the eye test would tell us that I think the likes of Dele Alli and Tanguy and Ndombele and Giovanni Lo Celso, they all need to go. I mean, I understand the sentimental value with a guy like Dele Alli. I've been seeing all over Twitter, people are like, Dele Alli is one of my favorite footballers of all time, and he's also one of the people I want out of my club immediately. So it's
Myself
like,
included.
it's tough. It's tough. We love the guy, but I really think he needs a revitalization in his career. There's the bobblehead. Go ahead and shake it a little bit. Shake it, shake it.
It's not a bobblehead, but he's
Oh,
got a big ass head.
that's not a bobblehead. That's a big
No,
ass head. But
unfortunately, it doesn't.
uh,
Well, I guess it kind of does. I
it
don't
kind
know.
of moves. There you go. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, man. I think it'll be good for his career. I think it'll be good for everyone
Yeah,
involved.
there's talks that he might go on loan to Newcastle United. There's talks that who was it? Is it Atletico or it's a La Liga club that's looking at, or I think it's Sevilla that's looking at Giovanni Lo Celso. So he could join his compatriot Eric Lamela at Sevilla possibly before the end of
Mm-hmm.
the window. But hey, to be fair, Fabrizio Romano did say earlier this weekend that this week is going to be huge for Tottenham and very busy for Tottenham. So hopefully it's true. Hopefully we'll see some players go out. Hopefully, please, please, dear God, we see some players get through. But yeah, man, what would be an ideal situation for you to be satisfied with this window? What has to happen for you to be satisfied?
First off, Adama Traore. It's got to happen. I'll have the bluest balls of all time. Record setting size of blue balls if we don't fucking sign Adama
Hmm.
Traore. So that's first. Um, what was the question? Is it gonna be what would it take to not be disappointing?
What would it take for you to be satisfied with the transfer window? What has to happen?
Adama Traore, a midfielder or two. I would say at least Adama and two more signings, and then a couple outgoings as well. I'll be satisfied with that. What about you?
I would say Adama Traore, just a right wing back. It looks like that's who Conte and Paratici wants. So a Traore, a striker, two midfielders, and a center back. A left-sided center back.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. I don't know if you're
I'm
going to be
sorry,
real
man, but
happy.
I think that is what it's going to take to make top four, in my opinion.
You're
I
not.
think if we
You're
don't
not
get
far off.
a striker, two midfielders, and a center back along with Traore, we're not making top four,
Yeah.
unfortunately. I know we have games in hand, and I know our schedule may seem pretty light coming up besides City, but frankly, if you don't have the players to get you there to top four, you're not going to. It's simple as that.
Yeah. I mean, these things, when it's a season long marathon like we see, you're going to get seen and shown for who you are. And I mean, I think you see that. Like, certain teams jump out ahead, certain teams start out real low, and they kind of even themselves out and end up kind of right where they're supposed to be by the time the season's over. And
Yeah.
I really hope that we can get above that line. God, I hope. Oh, I hope. I hope so much. But
We all
we'll
do,
see.
my friend.
We will
Any
see.
final thoughts for the pod?
Get that sweet oily man in. Get
Yeah.
him in our club for the love of Christ.
The next time we will see you will be when there is transfer activity for Tottenham. It might be a selling, it might be a buy, or it could be both. But regardless, we will talk to you before the transfer deadline it has passed. But yeah, man, Chelsea 2, Tottenham nil, another defeat at Stamford Bridge. We are heading into the international break now. We are off this week. That is Tottenham, but like we said, we are going to talk to you again once there is some transfer activity coming through to those doors at White Hart Lane at Tottenham
And then
Hotspur Stadium at N17.
we got every Tuesday the live stream. So even though we're going to be having the international break, the live stream will still be happening on Tottenham Away's YouTube channel.
Yep.
United Spurs of America, the pod, the live stream we do every Tuesday. So, Michael, I know you were on your honeymoon last week, so congratulations again to
Thank
you.
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
To you and your wife, many years of happiness, I hope, come your way.
Thanks, lad. I appreciate it. But yeah, and then our next match, like we mentioned earlier, is the FA Cup against Brighton. That one will be at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Saturday, February 5th. So that'll be exciting, man. It'll be exciting, and hopefully, like I mentioned earlier in the pod as well, hopefully we have a different team going into that game. Hopefully, there's a different lineup and a stronger lineup, more importantly, than what we saw and what we put out against Chelsea.
Something else that I was thinking, this might actually be really, really good that Arsenal got that North London Derby postponed, because if we have Young Daddy and Adama Traore in the North London Derby, bro, I'm gonna fucking lose it, dude.
Imagine Adama Traore scores in the North London Derby. I'd be wet. I would.
Oh, bro, I'll scream. I'll cry. I already told my wife that once we officially sign Adama, like, I'll probably cry. And she should just be expecting and ready for it.
And then we also do want to thank our patrons as well,
Oh, yes,
our
yes,
supporters.
yes. Faraz, my beta, my brother, much love. Pete,
And my boy Pete.
the homeboy Pete. Appreciate you both so much. Y'all support the pod. Also, shout out my boy Jay Scott. He's hitting me up. He wants some apparel, so we got some people who are trying to get their hands on apparel. What I say
Trying to make it happen.
what I say to you, if you've listened to this 40-some minutes of this pod thus far, become a supporter. Go on over to anchor.fm/United Spurs of America. Once we get a little bit more traction going on there, we're going to be giving away some merch to our supporters, as well as doing like little giveaway raffles. So once we get a little bit more traction, we're going to get some things going, some hoodies, hats. I don't know. We got some different things in the works. I don't want to talk too much about it yet. We got to keep on the hush hush, you know.
Hell yeah. Follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Spotify, wherever you consume your podcasts and music.
Yeah, right down there you can see it. If you're watching the video, anchor.fm/United Spurs of America, click on support. You become one of our sponsors. We'll give you a lovely shout out during each and every episode and live stream. I said, fuck it. I'm doing it on the live stream too. That's how much I love our sponsors.
Hell yeah. Well, the next time we see you, my friends, or you hear us, It will be when we have some transfer activity and some transfer talk to talk about. And for Jacob's sake, hopefully it is Adama Traore coming to Tottenham Hotspur. But until then, we will see you later. We will see you later down the line in the week after we do have some transfer activity. And like Jacob did mention earlier, we do have the live stream tomorrow on Tuesday. And that'll be 12:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. UK time. But until then, for Jacob, I'm Michael. Up the lads, and Jacob.
Come on, you Spurs.
We'll see you next time. Cois.
Come on, Adama. Hurry up.
United Spurs of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.